hate poetry. Good morning, everybody. Persephone Jane here for my 2020 book review series. Plugging along, I have managed 2 started videos. This is book number 3 in a row on schedule. Guys, this year is turning out to be really great. I read The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. The basic idea behind The Starless Sea is a college student finds a book that leads him down a rabbit hole of sorts and tangles him in this collection of stories that then have to be untangled. And he is an intricate part of that. So without trying to not give anything away, that's the basic premise. And that is a very, very superficial line item premise of this book. There is so much more, I promise you. I won't lie, I'm so glad that I bought this book because I want to be able to lend it out. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Erin Morgenstern also wrote The Night Circus, which maybe a couple years old now. And so this was kind of on my radar because I had read that one and I enjoyed that one. I hadn't picked it up yet because the climax of Night Circus fell flat for me. The magic was so immersive and so extravagant that I expected something bigger from the climax. Well, that's why I hadn't picked this up yet, because I just wasn't quite sure. But then I'm right in the middle of rewrites and edits for one of my own stories. I read the inside cover of this book. And first of all, the title was very similar to some of the titles that I was rolling around in my head for my book. So again, it reappeared on my radar because of that. And then the main character has the same name as the main character in my book. So then I was actually starting to get nervous that I was writing a book that somebody had already written. So I picked it up and I read the inside flap. And the inside flap sounds different enough, but there were enough similar words used that I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick it up. So I picked it up. And it's nothing like my story, which makes me feel a lot better. In that respect, we can put that aside. But it's amazing. I immediately loved this story and it held me all the way through. I had to fight myself every night to put this book away. If I could have sat down and read it all in one fell swoop, I would have. I have 3 kids who we homeschool, so that's like not even something that I ever get to do. But if I had had the opportunity, absolutely, I would have done it. But her writing style is very poetic. And so as I was reading this, I was like, this is like, it's the best of both worlds. It's everything that you love about poetry, but it's in an immersive environment where you can actually spend time in that poetry and you can explore the ideas and the concepts that are being presented with that poetry. And you can actually read enough of it to understand the poetry by the time that you're done with it. So in a way, it is its own book of poetry. And I'm not really sure how I feel about that. I won't lie, because I dislike poetry, but I like this for its poetic elements. So I'm gonna wrestle with that for quite some time, I'm sure. But it doesn't change the fact that this was such an amazing read. And the climax of this book left nothing to be desired. Night Circus was like, and then it was like, this one was just whoosh, and it was perfect. I did make the mistake when I first got it of opening to like one of the back pages just because I was flipping through. I wasn't like actively looking for anything, but I opened it to a page that gave away like a key detail. And so I was reading the whole book knowing this key detail was coming. There's so many pieces to this story. There's so many little tidbits that you get here and there that I literally didn't see the end coming. Because like I said, I had that sneak peek from the end in my brain the whole time that I was reading. And so I was wondering the whole time, like, is what I read actually going to be the end for that particular character? And how do I feel about that? And then we got there, and it wasn't, but it was better than I would have thought. It was moving, it was beautiful, it was poetic, and I enjoyed every possible second of it. That's all I really have to say about this book. I enjoyed every possible second. If you've read it too, leave me a comment and let me know what you thought. If you haven't read it, I highly suggest it. And that's all for now. See you guys next time.